Some people love color grading. They can go in there and, like a pure colorist, change the look of everything and completely customize their film. For the rest of us, we use something called LUTs, or lookup tables. Think of it almost like a filter that you put on a picture, but for video. They can be used as a starting point or as the final piece of the puzzle to complete your look. Now, this is actually something that I personally wanted to start getting better at. I'm even starting to shoot in S-Log instead of S-Cinetone all the time. Luckily for me, Dehancer reached out and asked if I can make a video talking about their software and how I can use that for color grading and really getting that film look. They even gave me a code so that way I can give it to you guys and you can save a little bit. They didn't pay me or anything to do the video, and they're not asking to see it beforehand. So if you truly do like it, use code MAX10 and you'll save 10% at checkout. They also have an iOS app that I'm gonna look into that as well. Now, the film video look, that's been growing more and more in popularity. And I actually just saw the movie Twisters right when it came out. And that was all shot on Kodak film, which made me even more want to try this software. And that was before they reached out. There's been a few projects that I was able to test this on and see where and when I can use it. I used the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 just to grab some cinematic around town shots and use that as a test. And I had a couple of wedding videos that I shot that still needed editing. So I figured, you know what, I'm gonna try it on these. And neither of those times was I shooting in log. This software is able to work on both log footage and Rec 709, which is great for me, somebody that's back and forth between shooting log confidently and sticking with S-Cinetone. I'll show you a little bit of those examples right now. Now, diving into the software, you actually have a lot that you can control on here. It might be a little overwhelming at first, but you've got a list of over 60 different film grades that you can choose from. There's some that I consistently go back to, and there's some that really just aren't the look for me, but with that many options, there's probably something for everybody in there. I really like the Agfa Color XRS 200, a lot of the Kodak ones, the Porta 160, the Vision 3 250D, 500T, and 50D, and like I said, seeing the movie Twister, I really wanted to emulate that Kodak look, and through a little bit of digging, I saw that it was the Vision 3 50D that they use in the movie. So that kind of automatically made that one of my favorites. But there's a bunch of different options for you. Once you add that color grade on, you're still able to adjust things like the exposure, the contrast, saturation, anything like that. The film grain is also something that you have complete control over if you want that on or not. Sometimes I love leaving that on and it really just enhances that film look. Other times I kind of just want to use the software more as like a regular LUT or color grade. So I just turn off the film grain, and stick with something like one of those Kodak profiles I was talking about before. It's super easy to get started with this. Basically the way I do it is I'll just add an adjustment layer first in Final Cut and then go over and add the Dehancer Pro right onto that adjustment layer. That way it's going to affect all the shots at one time on the timeline, and I don't have to do the same thing over and over for each individual clip. And of course, if there's a shot that needs a little bit more adjustment, I'll just go in and I'll fix that one particular clip. For me personally, doing it this way has saved a ton of time, especially if the lighting is fairly consistent in the shots. I'm very impressed with how well this works and how fast it works too. I don't like to use the word cinematic. Well, yeah, I do. It looks cinematic, really. I also used it for a wedding video too. And this whole thing was shot on an A7 III, which is 8-bit color, not 10-bit color. So you have even less room to play with. And it was standard picture profile. It wasn't S-Cinetone, not S-Log, just regular picture profile. So I wasn't sure how much room I would have to play with, but Dehancer is able to handle that and make it look good. The colors for this wedding, they definitely had that more earthy tone to it. So I really wanted something that can enhance that. As I started doing the edit, film color grade was one of the first things that came to my mind. So I was like, all right. So I knew that was going to be a good test for the software, and it knocked it out, I think. Now, in this example, this is one that I did turn off the film grain, only because this, I know I have a lot of close-ups of faces and things like that, and I didn't want the film grain over top of it. Once we add that Kodak Vision 200 to it, goes great with the tan suit from the groom. This basically, I think, was like a perfect example for me to try this software on. The film look just goes perfect with it. Now, lastly, they also just came out with an iOS app, so that way you can add the film grain look to your photos in post right there on your phone. And it's pretty quick and easy to do. You can even download the app to see what it looks like on your photo before you actually buy the software to export the image. You still get a ton of different film profiles to choose from. You can go in and customize the look of it. I'll definitely be checking this out as well. I really like the film look that this offers. Thanks to Dehancer for letting me check out the software. And remember, code MAX10 at checkout if this is something that you decide you want to try out.